Hello friends, welcome. So this is the part 2 of the video which I just recorded a couple of hours back, where I showed you how do we arrive at this sheet. This is a sheet which captures the GDP data, time series data of India, of all the dimension, which is the constant, the current, the GVA constant, and the GVA current for all the years starting from 2011 till the last quarter. So this we were able to arrive at by using the Python program, which I described in the earlier video. I will put a description link of the description of the video of the earlier video in this video, and you can, if you have not watched that part, you can watch it. Now this particular video is going to be all about visualization. How do I use this raw sheet, this particular data, to do visualization, and which is here. This is the visualization. So this is the final visualization which I have worked on. So what you can do here, you can basically choose any of the dimensions. Let's say if you choose GDP constant, you will get the GDP constant, and it will be sorted by the values of these parameters. Means the highest one will be in the top, and the lowest one will be at the bottom. And not only you can choose the dimensions of GDP constant, GDP current, and GVA constant and GVA current, you can also choose a metric. Means whether you want value in rupees or value in USD, or you want the growth, because naturally GDP constant value in USD does not make sense. That's why it is showing blank. So let's say growth in rupees means what has been the growth rate in rupees and what is the growth rate in USD. And you can choose, so in any way USD does not make sense, so it's not throwing up as far as GDP constant is concerned. Then you can choose either time scale of quarter or year, because the GDP values are available in quarter in time scale of quarter series as well as the year series. And then we have another control available here, where you can use this to move on the left hand side of the window. So if you press this button, then it is basically move quarter by quarter, right, on this side. So you will be able to get the values of quarter level GDP values, in whatever point of time that you want to go. You can choose this, and you can navigate this in the left hand side of the dashboard. And then there is one more control available here. So let me bring it back to where we were. You can also choose the number of time units. Let's say today I have in this particular dashboard I have 12 time units. Means 12 time unit means 12 quarters available. And why it is showing less than 12 quarters? Because it's showing growth. So I'll bring back this to values. So you'll see 12 quarters are here. I'm going to tell you why 4 quarters are missing, which you will see in the video when I go into the video and the details. Here if I choose, let's say 8, then the number of quarters that you will see is 8. So all the controls are available. So I will teach you how do we get to this level, where you have all this flexibility and you can look at all the data as you move forward. I'm not describing and I'm not going into the details of this data and trying to give a comment on where we stand as far as GD is concerned. That's a separate video we'll do. This video is purely focused on how do we create this table. So this is the raw sheet, the worksheet. So in order not to disturb this worksheet, I will create a copy. So let me create a copy of this worksheet. Right. So it is taking some time, because when you are recording as well as working, it becomes a little bit delayed. So bear with me. This is a problem which I find as I work in the system. I don't know why it is taking so much amount of time. Let me try again. Let me create a copy of this worksheet. Amazing. Let me pause the video and try again. Yeah, so we are back. So this is the copy of that worksheet. So what I am going to do is, I'm just going to bring my face here so that it becomes more efficient, and I'm going to expand this window a little bit more. Yeah, on the other side. So in order to start from scratch, I'll remove all the dimensions from the view. So let me remove everything and start from scratch. So bring my face on top. Okay. So the first thing that you have to do is you have to define the dates, because since you need this is the raw date. I'm going to show you the data source so that you understand where the data source is coming from and how the data source looks. So if you look at this particular sheet, this is the main data. So the data is available here. Yeah, this is the data. So if you see the date is here in this column, the type is one column, then we have description, then we have value, and then we have the USD rates, and then everything else is calculated fields. And I'll show you how to create those calculated fields. Now what you need is, you have the date. Now you have to convert this date into quarters. So what you need first, before you do that, what you have to do is that you have to choose the financial year start date, which is pretty important. So here you go and make you'll find a menu. From there you basically will see fiscal year start date, and default will be January, so you make a choice of April. So that's the first thing that you have to do, otherwise the whole thing is going to fall apart. So let's choose April. After having done that, you have to extract quarters and years from this date. So how do you do that? You simply go here, and then after having gone there, you pull down the menu and then say create, and then it will say custom date. So when you choose custom date, then it will basically tell you what you have to choose. So when you pull down this menu down below, it will ask you whether quarter or years. Then you can choose one of them, and one by one you can create date quarters as well as date years, right? So this is pretty simple. So I'll cancel it because it's already there. Having done that, once you have created date, quarters and years, you need to basically create an anchor parameter which will tie these two together, which is what? Which is time metric. So this is a parameter. I'll show you what it looks. Show parameter. So the parameter creation is pretty simple. So let the parameter come up in the view. So here, so once the parameter is available in the view, you will be able to see this. Let me just see again. Where is that? Okay, now show parameter is there. So this is the parameter in the view. So here is the parameter. So what it is, the name of the parameter is time metric. Then you have to choose the data type, which is string, because you can have any kind of parameter. It can be float, integer, boolean, etc. You choose string, and then you choose a list. You can basically choose all, or you can choose list. So once you choose list, then you have to type in quarter, and display as quarter, and then you type another value which is year, and then display as year. Once having done that, then everything is done, and you say press OK. So once you have pressed OK, this parameter is complete. Now having done this parameter, then you have to anchor, as I told you that you have to anchor, then you have to create a calculated field. So here you go and create a calculated field. I have already created a calculated field for you, and the name of the calculated field is time frame. So I'll just open it and show it to you what it looks like. The formula is pretty simple. You have to use a case statement, and you have to plug in this parameter here. After having done that, you have to just simply use the statement. When quarter, then you bring this date which you created here, pull down this date here as quarter, right? Here. Similarly, when year, because you have to make choice, right? You have to here quarter and choice. This is a parameter which I am showing here. Then you make a choice of year. It should give date as years, which you have created just a couple of minutes back here, right? So once having done that, you just close this. So this parameter is here. You can see, you can make choice of date, but nothing is there in the view, therefore nothing, you are not able to see anything. I am going to basically start populating the view. Now, after having done that, take the time frame on the columns. This is time frame is nothing but, what is it? These are so there are tables here, and here these are metric, and these are basically dimensions, right? So you take it here on the columns, and then you choose from here exact date, right? Now if you make a choice of year and quarters, you will see that these particular values are going to change accordingly, because I am not formatted this, so you will not see the dates properly, but you will be able to see that the number of bars is going to change depending upon your selection. So far so good. Now after having done this, what you need to do is that you need to have the values to be displayed in this worksheet. So you can choose one of the values. What was the value that we have initially imported, which is value in rupees. So let's take value in rupees in the view. So let's take value in rupees in the view. So here is value in rupees in the view. let's just hide this title. So you see this is the default curve that you are going to get is a line curve, and you want to convert this into bar. So let's choose bar. So here you have bar. Now you need this to be in this particular format, means you need the GDP dimensions in the y-axis. So how do you do that? You take the dimension, so the description here, and you put it here in the rows. Once you put description here, you will see that these are automatically going to show up as the y-axis. And then you put description also in color, because you want all these bars to be in color form, right? So now since these bars are very, very small, and why it is happening, that you have to convert this time frame into discrete. So let's convert it into discrete, and then what we do is that you double click here and modify this axis, make it independent and don't include 0, because then the bars are going to, basically size of the bars are going to increase, right? So far so good. Now the date is in the bottom, so we'll fix that later. So let's not worry about that. I want to bring the date on the top. So I'll tell you how to do that later, and I'll hide this part so that these are not required, because we have these values here. Now this is showing up the full data, because if you look at this data, all the quarters are being shown. So if I take years here, from here, you will see that the year numbers are going to come on down, and the data is going to get converted into yearly form, right? So what I'll do, I'll basically make it entire view, right? So here it is like that. And then the values can be displayed by showing mark level. So once you place mark level, you see that the values will come up here, right? Now what you have to do is that you have to control this view. You have to make this view to a control manner. How many numbers of quarters, or how many numbers of years that you want. So how do you do that? So in order to do that, you have to create the following. So here is like this. You have to specify the window end date. So I have another parameter which I have defined, which is called the Windows end date. So from where I am going to get the Windows end date? So when I create, so you know that the parameters can be created from here. So you can basically create a fresh parameter from here, because I have already created a parameters, and since the video will go otherwise very long, so I am taking the advantage of populated fields, and I am going to show you how it looks. So you have to give a name, and then you have to basically make the data type as date, and then what you have to do is that you have to pick up a list. You will basically get it from the date column, which is the uploaded data. The data that you have uploaded in this workbook. So once you pick date, all the dates are going to be populated. So every time this file gets up, you run this program, automatically these are going to be picked up from scratch from this particular file, as this file gets loaded into this Tableau program, right? And you press OK. You can basically change the format also, but let's keep it like this, and you say OK. So you have the Windows end date. Then you need the Windows start date also, because in order to define this view, you need the end date as the start date. So how do you define start date? You basically create another calculated field. So this is a calculated field. How do you do calculated field? Go here and you can get a calculated field. So I already have a calculated field here of start date, and I say edit, and you'll see the formula here. So what is the formula? Formula is also pretty simple. So what I have done is that I have used the Windows end date as a reference, and the number of time units that you want, which is another parameter which I have created here. Let me show you. So I edit this, and I see this is a very simple parameter. This is going to allow you to enter integer values. So I have entered 8 here. You can basically take 12 also. So you name the parameter, then you choose from a data type here, whatever data type you want. And then you basically choose from this menu list, you can choose whatever you want. You can basically have minimum, maximum, you can have a reference, some kind of range on which you don't want the user to go beyond that. So you can pick up the range, and you can change, input a value here. So you can basically make it 12, let's say, because 12 you can, then you say press OK. So the Windows, you choose Windows end date, and then you add a minus sign. So this particular function date added, what it is doing, it is basically subtracting a specific time unit using the time metric. So this metric, right, which you choose here, that value is going to get inputted here. Means whatever you choose, you make it either year, so this here you will see year here, right? And if you choose quarter, then this quarter will be fed. So what date add is doing is, depending upon the input value here that you choose. So let me just go to the date add function here, and I'll show you what date add is doing. So here date add, you have to basically use the date part. So date part is what? Either quarter or year, and then interval. Interval is the minus whatever the number of units that you want to have the window date behind the window start date. So from the window end date. So from the window end date, how many units you want to go back in time. So you put it here, and then you put the metric, and then automatically you will get the window end date, right? So this is how it is done. Now, after having defined window end date and window start date, you need window width. So what is window width? Window width is basically going to be a Boolean function which is going to define this, which is going to go into the filter. So here, if you put this here in the filter, you get a true and false statement. But you have to define what is that true and false by writing this formula. What is this formula? Very, very simple. You have already time frame here, which is the date. It is this window will be within this two blocks, which is the start date and the end date. So you define a formula like this. Time frame is less than, and the time frame is time frame is greater than window start date, and the time frame is less than equal to the Windows end date. It's a simple Boolean formula that you have written, and if this is true, then it will give you true. If it is false, it is giving you false, right? So after having done that, you just pull this into the filter section, and then you press true, select true. So what will happen? Why are you seeing this? Because of the following. Because the window end date parameter is defined at the last. So let me just make a selection, make it slider. I am showing this parameter, and what I am going to do is I am going to just pull it a little here and going to bring it and make it at the end. So now you see how the whole view has changed. Now depending upon what value that you add, the number of time unit, let me show this parameter also. So if I, let's say, add, I'll just make it type in. So let's say if I add 8, so you see that the number of years are also going to change 8. So if I put quarter here, you will see number of quarters are also going to change accordingly, right? So far so good. So we have the basic structure prepared. Now the next thing that you have to do is that you have to sort it, because currently these are not sorted. You need to sort this based on the last value, the latest quarter, right? Values. So how do you do that? How do you make a sort? The sorting is possible by defining another value, another calculated field, which is called last value. I'm going to show you what is last value. Last value is nothing but a standard definition, a standard function available in window, which is called last. And then you have to add here the parameter that is, let's say here, I'll just tell you what the chosen metric is. It will come later. But let's assume that it was some value. So this some value, sum of value rupees would come here, and then there will be a comma, and then last, and then that will be a lookup of that. Lookup means look up this particular value. So all these are going to be looked up and is going to be stored here, which will be last value, right? Now this last value is going to come here. So once you have last value here, you will see that this is automatically going to get sorted. But there is a problem here. It is getting sorted reverse. Means the negative numbers are coming on top and the positive numbers are going on below, right? So in order to fix that, it is very simple. You just double click here and add a negative sign, right? Now, after having negative signs, this is going to get continuous. So again, make it discrete and pull it back here. And then what you do is that you just hide this. You see now everything is fixed. You have the highest value on the top and the lowest value at the bottom, right? Negative number at the bottom and that. So sorting has happened automatically. Now you can hide this so that no longer the viewer is not able to see this. But whatever changes that you make here, automatically these will get sorted based on the highest value on the top and the lowest value at the bottom. Now let's bring the dates on the top. So how do you do that? You go to Tableau and then you go here and table layout. Go to advanced, and then you just uncheck this and press OK. This will come on top, and then you format it based on whatever format that you want. And what I'm going to do, I'll just change the font a little smaller, and I'll make it 6, And then what I'm going to do, I'll basically change the custom also, and I'll say month, and then YY, and you'll see that the formatting has been done, and we are all ready set as far as this is concerned. Now here there is a problem here that all these things are coming up. The GB and the GDP numbers are also coming up in this whole view. So in order to fix that, you have the type parameter. Remember, there was a type which actually a column which captured GDP current and GDP constant, GBA current and GB constant. So you put that in the filter. Once you have done that, you will basically get a selection window, and you say you basically select one, and then you say OK, and then you show up this selection show filter. And after having done that, you basically do a drop down and then uncheck the all. Right, go here and just say here from here, where is this? Yeah, you can just uncheck the all so that all does not come in the selection. So once you select one of the specific dimension, you will be able to, the view is going to change accordingly, right? So we have now reached almost 70% of the work is completed. Formatting you can do later, so it's not a difficult thing. Now comes the selection of other dimension. Now here I am only using some value as rupees, but I want, as I told you, I want the dollar values also, I want the growth values also. All those numbers are to be user should have the capability to choose using menu driven function, so that like if you see the dashboard here, once I choose value in rupees, sorry, let me just make it current so that you can see the USD part also. So I have chosen value in rupees, so value is coming here. Then I can have a drop down and USD, the USD values will going to come here. Then I can choose growth, the growth is going to come here, like the GDP growth. Let me make it, let me just make it 12 here, so that the whole number of quarters come. Then we have the growth in USD also. You can see what is the growth rate in USD, and the highest number is going to be shown up in the top, right? So how do you do that? So in order to do that, you have to create another parameter. So let's go here and create another parameter, right? So that parameter has already been created, which is called choose metric. So I'll just show this parameter, edit this parameter. So when I edit this parameter, what is happening going to show, you will be able to see what I have done. So I have named the parameter as choose metric. I have basically given a data type as string. And then what I am doing is I am basically creating a list, which is value rupees, value USD, growth rupees, growth USD. So these values have been created here, and a list has been created, and I press OK. Once having done that, then you create another calculated field, which I am going to show how it looks. So this calculated field is very simple. I use a case statement. I put this as a case option to choose from, and then as I choose value rupees, I get sum of rupees value, which is this is going to come here, right? Then I choose value USD, I get value USD, and I'll tell you how value USD has been calculated. Then if I want choose growth rupees, I get growth rupees, and I'm going to tell you how growth has been calculated. And growth USD, I basically take and pull it and put it here, and then press OK. Now let's understand how USD has been calculated, value USD. Value USD calculated field is here. So I'll edit this to you see that is very simple. Here again a case statement. You bring type here, and then if this selection is GDP current, then only the value in rupees will be basically converted into USD rate. If it is not, if it is constant, then the calculation would not happen, because for constant GDP constant, USD value makes no sense. Similarly, for current GBA current, only when GBA current parameter is selected, the value should be converted into USD, because for constant this conversion to USD value does not make any sense, because constant is a reference value which is for a particular year on which that series starts, right? So you can do that calculation, but for that you have to basically have to look at the USD number at that start of that particular year, which is not the right thing to do. So let's look at the nominal values for conversion, which is the practice everybody follows. So you have done that. Now you have to calculate growth rate. So how do you calculate growth rate? So growth rate calculation can be done by picking the number which is previous number. So previous what is the previous USD value? So for growth, you need what? You need this number let's say for the quarter, for this, suppose let's say if you want to calculate the growth number for this quarter, so you need this as well as you need this number, right? And then what you do is you subtract this from this and divide this by this. You get the growth. So how do you get this? So you basically calculate, you use another calculated field. So I edit this and I'll show you. What I've done is, if you choose quarter, then you go back by 4 time units. But if you choose year, you go back by 1 time unit. So this is how you are basically doing value of previous rupees. The same is applicable for dollars also. Same thing. So if I do it here, you will see that it's same thing. Once having done that, then the growth calculation becomes very easy. So I go here in the growth parameter and go to the calculated field. I use the formula and calculate growth. All these gets anchored in chosen metric. See? So you put it here, the choose metric goes here, and then based on the selection, you select a particular value, and that is done. And then you put this chosen metric thing in the view. So you replace this sum by chosen metric. Just a minute, because it becomes a little bit hazy and delayed. So you replace this here. I'll just take this out of the view, and then I pull chosen metric here, right? And so basically the problem is I am using GVA current because, yeah. And what I have to do, because this whole thing the formatting got disturbed, I have to choose the header, and then I'll again double click here, and then I write. Okay, so then I remove the header. Now so this is again not as it is looking graceful, it is looking here. It is still, there are a lot of problems. What is the problem? Because what is happening is that because it is filtering, the growth values are not getting calculated, and there is because when you are doing growth here, let me just choose the, looks like that, chosen metric, let me put it here as a parameter. So it's a growth USD. So when you are calculating growth, because these numbers are getting filtered, so there is no growth which you can calculate for these 4 quarters. So there is zero, is not showing anything. So you have to remove this from the view. So how do you do that? So you do a window calculation. Window calculation is nothing but summing all the columns and check whether this sum is null or not. So I have created another calculated field. So I edit this, and what I am doing is I am doing a window sum chosen metric, and the default table calculation has been basically compute using description. So at this level. So once you have done that, you just put it in the view, in the filter. So I put it in filter and I exclude null. So when I exclude null, you will find that these will get automatically removed from the view. So it is now going to look much more cleaner. So it's almost ready. There is only one thing which we have to do, is that we have to tinker with the window end date. Why? Because when you calculate growth, and I'm not going to show it here because I have to do some modification to the window end date, and the whole thing is going to go longer than this. So just bear with me. So when you do a growth calculation and using the time scale as year, you will find that because this particular financial year numbers are not complete, we only have 1 quarter of this financial year, the growth for this particular year, which is the current financial year, which has only 1 quarter data, is going to be skewed, right? You will get a very big negative number. So you have to remove that from the view. So what you have to do, you have to create another calculated field. So you have to tinker with the window end date, which I showed you earlier, and modify the formula such that once you encounter that value of that particular situation, this automatically get excluded. So I have used the date@at function. It's little complicated, but if you go with this, you can just you can pause the video here and you look at this particular calculation, and you will be able to understand what is going on here. And you place OK, and then finally you can do a little bit of formatting. You have this particular view ready with you. So this is how it is. So after that, so this has got full flexibility, right? You can basically choose constant, you can choose current, and then you can choose GVA, both constant and current, and then you have all the options of choosing the value in USD, and then you can do growth, and then you can modify the window, right? You can choose the start date, and you can go back in time and the time unit. So this is as simple as that, and this gives you a lot of power and insight as to, and play with this data to get you more understanding what is going on, because static data does not give you any understanding. You need the trend data, and you need to have the capability to play with the data real time, to be able to have the empowerment to understand where we stand and what kind of value that we can add going forward as a country. So I think the video has already got long, so I have to cut this short right now. And I will maybe if you have any questions, just put it in the comment section. I will like to answer them. I will answer those questions. And as usual, thanks for your patient listening. I'll come back with the next video next time. Thank you very much.